For centuries, the name Genghis Khan has evoked images of unparalleled destruction and ruthless conquest. He is often depicted as the quintessential barbarian, a force of nature that swept across continents, leaving only devastation in his wake. This narrative is deeply ingrained in our collective historical consciousness, shaping how we perceive one of history's most impactful figures. But what if this widely accepted portrayal, while containing elements of truth, is fundamentally incomplete? What if the story of Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire is far more complex, encompassing not just brutality, but also surprising advancements and enduring contributions? It is time to challenge our preconceived notions and look deeper into a legacy that defies simple categorization. To begin, we must confront the undeniable reality of the Mongol conquests. The scale of violence and the loss of life during Genghis Khan's campaigns were immense, unprecedented in many respects. Cities were razed, populations decimated, and ancient civilizations brought to their knees. The destruction of agricultural lands and irrigation systems in regions like Persia had long-lasting ecological and economic consequences. Accounts from contemporary chroniclers, though often biased, paint a grim picture of widespread terror and suffering. This aspect of his legacy cannot and should not be overlooked or minimized. The sheer efficiency of the Mongol war machine, combined with a strategy of psychological warfare, instilled fear across Eurasia. Their military tactics were brutal, designed to break the will of their enemies through overwhelming force and a reputation for mercilessness. This is the Genghis Khan most of us know, and for good reason. Yet to focus solely on the destruction is to miss a crucial part of the story. The Mongol Empire, forged in conquest, quickly evolved into something far more than just a military occupation. It became a vast, interconnected entity that paradoxically fostered a period of unprecedented stability and exchange. Beneath the veneer of conquest, Genghis Khan laid the groundwork for an administrative and legal framework that would govern his sprawling domain. He understood that lasting power required more than just military might. It demanded order, communication, and a degree of societal cohesion. This vision began to take shape even during his lifetime. The very act of unifying disparate nomadic tribes under a single banner was a monumental achievement. It transformed a fragmented collection of warring clans into a formidable disciplined force, capable of projecting power across vast distances. This internal organization was a precursor to the empire's later administrative innovations. Perhaps one of the most surprising aspects of Genghis Khan's rule was his policy of religious tolerance. Unlike many empires of his time, which often imposed a state religion or persecuted minority faiths, the Mongols generally allowed conquered peoples to practice their own beliefs freely. This was not born of altruism but pragmatism. Genghis Khan himself was a Tengrist, but he recognized the disruptive potential of religious strife within his diverse empire. He understood that forcing conversions or suppressing faiths would only breed resentment and rebellion. Instead, he offered protection to all religious leaders, including Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, and Taoists. This policy attracted scholars, artisans, and merchants from various religious backgrounds to the Mongol courts. It fostered an environment where different spiritual traditions could coexist and sometimes even interact, leading to a unique cultural mosaic. This religious pluralism was a stark contrast to the religious wars plaguing other parts of the world. The establishment of the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol peace, is another often overlooked facet of Genghis Khan's legacy. After the initial period of conquest, the vast Mongol Empire created a contiguous landmass under a single authority, stretching from Eastern Europe to East Asia. This unprecedented unity had profound implications for trade. For the first time in centuries, merchants could travel across the entire Eurasian landmass with relative safety and security. The Mongols actively protected trade routes, suppressed banditry, and even established standardized weights and measures. This dramatically reduced the risks and costs associated with long-distance commerce. The revitalized Silk Roads became conduits not just for goods, but for ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. Chinese gunpowder and printing techniques, Middle Eastern astronomy and medicine, and European artistic styles all traveled along these routes. This era saw an explosion of cross-cultural exchange, facilitated by Mongol stability. To govern such an immense empire, effective communication was paramount. Genghis Khan established the Yam, a sophisticated and highly efficient postal relay system that predated many similar European innovations by centuries. This network of post stations, complete with fresh horses and provisions, allowed messages to travel at incredible speeds. The Yam system was crucial for military intelligence, administrative decrees, and diplomatic communications. It ensured that orders from the Great Khan could reach the furthest corners of his empire swiftly, and that information from the provinces could be relayed back to the capital. This logistical marvel was a testament to Mongol organizational prowess. Beyond official communications, the Yam also facilitated the movement of merchants, envoys, and travelers like Marco Polo. It was a vital artery that connected the disparate parts of the empire, fostering a sense of unity and enabling the rapid dissemination of knowledge and innovation. Its efficiency was legendary. Genghis Khan was a pragmatic leader who valued ability over aristocratic lineage. He implemented a system of meritocracy within his military and administration, promoting individuals based on their skills, loyalty, and performance, rather than their birthright or tribal affiliation. This was a radical departure from the feudal systems prevalent elsewhere. This policy allowed talented individuals from diverse backgrounds, including conquered peoples, to rise through the ranks. It fostered a sense of loyalty to the Khan himself, rather than to traditional tribal leaders, thereby strengthening the central authority of the empire. This merit-based approach contributed significantly to Mongol military success and administrative efficiency. The Yasa, Genghis Khan's legal code, codified many of these principles, emphasizing discipline, loyalty, and justice. While harsh in its punishments, it aimed to create a predictable legal environment that applied, at least in theory, to all subjects. This legal framework provided a foundation for the empire's governance. The Mongol Empire, by forcibly connecting disparate cultures, inadvertently became a catalyst for unprecedented cultural exchange. Ideas, technologies, and artistic styles flowed freely across Eurasia, leading to a period of significant innovation and synthesis. This was a direct consequence of the Pax Mongolica and the Mongol policy of religious tolerance. Chinese innovations like printing, gunpowder, and paper money spread westward, profoundly impacting European development. Middle Eastern advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine found their way to China and Europe. European goods and ideas also traveled eastward, though perhaps to a lesser extent. This era saw the transfer of agricultural techniques, culinary practices, and even diseases across continents. The Mongol Empire acted as a vast conduit, accelerating the pace of global interaction and laying some of the groundwork for the age of exploration that would follow. It was a truly globalized world, centuries before the term existed. So, is Genghis Khan's legacy as dark as we think? The answer, as with most complex historical figures, is not a simple yes or no. He was undeniably a conqueror who presided over immense destruction and suffering. To deny this would be to ignore the painful realities of his campaigns. However, he was also a visionary leader who unified a vast empire, fostered religious tolerance, revitalized trade, and established sophisticated administrative systems. His actions, though often brutal, inadvertently paved the way for a period of unprecedented cultural exchange and technological diffusion across Eurasia. He was a force of both destruction and, paradoxically, connection. Understanding Genghis Khan requires us to hold these seemingly contradictory truths in tension. His story reminds us that history is rarely black and white, and that even the most feared figures can leave behind legacies that are far more nuanced than popular narratives suggest. Perhaps the true darkness lies not in the man himself, but in our own reluctance to embrace the full spectrum of historical complexity. The story doesn't end here. There's so much more to uncover about historical figures. Hit subscribe and we'll see you in the next video.